caught in the undertow. So toxic, but I can't get enough. You're firing me, firing me. Yeah, you're firing me, firing me. You've got me hypnotized. Push me out of myself. You've got me hypnotized. I can see, I can hear, going crazy, but the light has got me hypnotized. You've got me hypnotized. Get you out of my hand again. Is it wrong? Is it right? It's like I've won my final war without a fight. I'm out of control, about to blow. I've been caught in the undertow. So toxic, but I can't get enough. You're burying me, burying me. I know you're burying me, burying me. You've got me hypnotized. Push me out of myself. You've got me hypnotized. I can see, I can hear, going crazy, but the light has got me hypnotized. You've got me hypnotized. Get you out of my head. Get you out of my head. Hurricane, a tidal wave. Essence perfect, life looks brilliant. Give me more of this. I'm out of control, about to blow, and I've been caught in the undertow. So toxic, but I can't get enough. You're firing me, firing me. Yeah, you're firing me, firing me. You've got me hypnotized. Push me out of myself.
I seem to care. In the air, no more crowd, just the opposite kind of too loud. So tell me this time is coming for the sake of all your lies. Why don't you try to be wise? Now that I need you, why? I never wanted to be alive, just to feel like I'm fading. And though my heart breaks, I'll beat it down. I cross the lines just to tell you, don't leave the way, don't leave the same. Then I try with a child playing the rain. I feel like
always do it on my own, so I gotta get through it. And the only thing I know is to love what I'm doing. Never give up, never slow, till I finally prove it. Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep moving. Keep my head up when I act, head up, that's a fact. Never looking back, I'ma keep myself on track. Keep my head up, staying strong, always moving on. Feel I don't belong, tell my thoughts to move along. Push myself to be the best, die with no regrets. Live with every breath, see my message start to spread. And I had so many dreams, then you hit your teens. Life ain't really what it seems, try to find out what it means.
I'm not going to lie, I was literally dancing to that. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to TNA Emergence. We are here for the post-show here today, and in this show here today, we are going to be discussing all things that have happened with TNA. Looking forward to this. Welcome. I thought I was going to do this on my own until about 5 minutes before we set this up. And this lovely lady decided to go, would you like company? I went, oh, yes, please. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the lovely Astrid. Thank you ever so much for coming today.
I figured I wouldn't leave you alone on this, so might as well talk about this since we went through it together tonight.
Mm-hmm. We've got a couple here. Hello, guys. You're right, mate. How you doing? Lovely to have you here. Yes, there is 2 calendars because I might have forgotten to delete the previous week's one, and I played it. And as I was reading the dates, I went, "That ain't the right one." I will say this: it is currently 4:15 in the morning for me, and I've been up for about 22 hours, so I'm very, very tired. Excuse me, and I'm coughing up my lungs because that's it. Right. Before we get into everything, and before we get into the show, I want to ask you, before we get into the specifics of the show, what did you think overall of it?
It definitely felt like a roller coaster, to be honest. There was definitely the good things were good and the bad things were bad. So, yeah, we'll talk about it more towards the end when we go there.
Yeah,
How did you feel?
I think I know which one you're on. I think the one thing I have discovered is Iron Man matches are not my thing. No. Might have nearly had a nap during one of it, during a part of it. I might have nearly fallen asleep. I might have gone, oh, this is okay, and then done this, and then realised that where I am and what time it is, and I've gone, oh.
I have a little help too, so.
Yeah, but the issue is, if I drink that, then graphic, ladies and gentlemen, I will be on the toilet for a very long time. So it's not a good idea if I do those type of things. Here we go. Yes, it is. Very much so. Is my audio a bit low?
Yeah, a little.
Right, hold on, ladies and gentlemen. It seems to be working. When you work for me.
Try to keep the microphone closer to like your mouth and your neck. That helps.
No.
There you go.
Right.
That's on.
Right, is that better?
Yeah.
Right. I'm just gonna have a hanging headphone now, which will prop this up. It's the fashion, ladies and gentlemen. Fashion.
I hope Bobby clips this for later.
Yeah. Nice to, yeah, it was. We will get into that. It is nice to see a bit of NXT talent here. Yeah. Yes.
STG is too early for this.
I'll take that. You've been nice to me, so I'll take it. So I'm absolutely fine with that. Yeah. So yeah, let's get. I've done right. Astrid's laughed at this, right? She's laughed at this. I thought I was
I
doing
mean-
this on my own. So I've made like a PowerPoint type thing. And the little thing that's annoying me is I've actually done like transitions on the PowerPoint, which doesn't come through on here. And it's really irritating me. I really went, oh, well, this transition would be good for this one.
Oh my God.
Right, we've got, right. You two, sort it out. All right? Or I'll put you both in the naughty corner. You don't. I have all the power, my friend. Oh God, here we go. They're off with each other now, aren't they?
Yeah, I was about to
They're off.
say
They're
they're having
off.
their own Arabelle match in the corner there.
Exactly. We're going to leave them to it for the moment, time being. But we're going to get into it. What you will see is I have written on some of them my star rating of what I gave each match. You'll see it straight away. But we're going to go with ask Astrid what hers is as well. But we're going to move over here. And look, I've got graphics. I'm intelligent, man. So the first match was the countdown where we had Kushida versus Frankie Kazarian. So big brain mark, yes, very much so. It did take me about 20 minutes to work out what I was doing, but I did it on my own because I'm a big boy. And also Bobby wasn't available for me to ring him and ask him.
Yeah,
That was
SCG, right on point. Right on point with that one.
I said you made me look
No,
stupid.
we're gonna
No.
show it because everybody else has to see it. Anybody on YouTube can't see it.
Exactly. If you are watching this, by the way, on YouTube, and if you're watching this on my channel, it's the first time I've ever done this, and it's the first time I've streamed in over a year over on my channel. So if you are, or if you're watching this on OLE as well, make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and if you put the comments down below, one of us who's around, we'll get back to you as soon as we possibly can. So we will be answering any questions you have if you're watching this post show. See, even Astrid is producing, even though she told me before we started, I will not be doing anything. This is all yours. This woman can't help herself but take over. Talking of taking over, it's not even NXT. I really thought I had.
I'm
a good
helping
side there,
you.
but it wasn't.
I technically told you I'm the captain now, and I told you you're the captain, and I'm just here. So
We're co-captains. We're all in this together.
you're
We
you're
will
the one
never
with the
break
PowerPoint, so
free.
that automatically makes you the captain. So
How many more High School Musical songs can I name? That's a challenge that I'm going to set myself for the rest of the show.
that's the wrong franchise for me, just so you know. Okay,
hold on. What?
that's the wrong like movie for me. High School Musical, you said?
Please tell me
Right?
you've watched it.
I did, but it's not my favorite. I have another one.
All right, go on. All right, if we're going to go off, we're going on with this now. We're going to get into TNA in a minute. Go on.
Yeah, I know you're gonna judge me for it, but I don't care though.
Go on. I'm not going to judge. This is a non-judgmental zone.
Mine is the Cheetah Girls, just so you know. So
Oh my God, they were so good. That was
yeah,
the one.
but wait. Have you
that's
seen?
Raven, isn't it?
Yeah, have you seen the 3 movies? Or no? How many have you seen?
I think I've seen 2 of them. There was the Cheetah Girls. Didn't they go to India in one of them?
Yes, that's the last one.
Right. So I must have seen all 3 of them. But I haven't seen
Okay,
them in
so
years.
I'm gonna judge you for this answer though. Before we continue, what is your ranking of the movies? Because there's only one correct answer, just so you know.
I always go. The original's always the best. So I would go. Probably number 1 was probably number 1. If I can remember that they went to India, I'm going to go with number 2, and then the second one third, because I can't remember the second one. And I need to watch them now. I haven't seen them in years.
Oh my God, Zedon! Holy crap, I feel old. That's when Raven looked like a baby.
Is great.
Thank you, Ed. That is the correct ranking. 2, 1, 3. There we go. Thank you.
Why can't I remember 2?
Okay, so your homework is for the weekend. You will watch all 3 of them and let me know your correct ranking, okay? Thank you very much. We can move on now.
All right. I'll take that. Also as well, I know that the Wizards of Waverly Place is coming back very soon. And, I'm so excited for that. Anyway, enough about Disney, because TNA are not owned by Disney. They're owned by...
Oh, SCG. I would say that I work with Ed well enough that I think he might know my ranking by now. Most likely, that's probably the difference. I didn't DM him though. I promise. I've been helping with the comments.
She is. She's just pressing the buttons for me, and I'm just sat here thinking I should be pressing them, but my brain is just not. Anyway, we're not believing in that. We don't believe in Joe Hendry till later on. But let's get into the first match. The countdown started with Kushida versus Kazarian. What would you say about this match? I gave it a three stars out of five. But what would you say about this?
I'm saying you're being really nice. And don't get me wrong, I like both of them, but they can tell that because it was a countdown, it was a short match. So there wasn't like much development in it, to be honest. I will tell you my honest notes are Kushida versus Cass wins.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I think I did 3 stars because I was awake at this point and I was like, "Oh, I'm really excited! Oh, there's a match! It's done."
yeah.
I like Kazarian, and I think he does a good job. But the whole story with him now, he deserves a world title shot. He had a world title shot. He didn't. He's becoming. Do you remember when Christian decided I want one more match? It's like that, and it's becoming slightly more irritating than it is good.
Oh.
I just want him to actually do something right. So that is my honest opinion. STG and Ed are just having their own little conversation here.
I told you, it's an Arrowman match. Right in the chat. Just let them be at it. Just let me know who wins at the end.
I'm going with that.
But I will say with that match though, if the pre-show would have been an hour though, and they would have done kind of like a preview of the pay-per-view in the first like 20 minutes or so, and let that match have a little bit more time, it would have been better. Because I just felt like it was okay, but it didn't have enough time to develop, and then it was over. So that's the only that's my critique towards it. More time would have been better towards it. And if I could have eliminated this match, I would have done it too.
Yeah. Right. So have you been watching TNA?
No, not like you at least.
Okay. So I don't understand Matt Cardona, whatever his name is. So he's now becoming like a jealous ex-boyfriend, like a possessive type, but she's not having it. PCO wants revenge, but Matt Cardona is not having the match, but thinks he's injured, and then doesn't do anything. And he's just become like a mouthpiece where he's just letting people do his work.
Yeah.
And I've seen this play out so many times, and it doesn't ever end well. So I don't understand. What was he called himself? The indie god or something like that. And the indie god's getting a bit indie boring. So
how about indie stale on this one?
Yeah,
but
I agree with you on that.
But I'll tell you 2 things about this match though. First things, I feel like again the presentation of this match messed it up for me. I'll tell you why. Because if I was TNA, I would have had Mike Cardona come out first, right? Yeah. Or have PCO come out first and be in the ring already. And they have Mike Cardona come out and then present this person in such a way like, oh, he's a monster, because obviously we see as Mike Cardona's monster. So it was like, sell me that monster. Maybe like think, who could it be by selling me this monster? Because I don't know who it is before, obviously with the graphic beforehand. So sell it to me. Give me that monster. Maybe like trying to guess who it is really. And first, it's like Mike Cardona's presence should have been felt in this match somehow. Whether it was like him introducing the person, him trying to get in the match, something. And it was definitely missing because you see him in the poster, so you're expecting him in there somehow, but he isn't. And then I'll tell you that the second part of this, the presence thing, is the fact that when all of a sudden they put the music, and it's Shera's music, and I went, is this the PCO match? Because I wasn't sure. Because he wasn't presented like the monster the way they're presented here in this graphic. And I'm like, why don't you have PCO come out first so that way we know it's PCO's match is next? And then kind of give us like a moment of silence so we can guess who the monster is, and then have Shera's music play. Not the other way around, because I'm like, oh, it's him. Okay. it felt like anticlimactic,
Yeah.
to put it like that. So I would have planned it out differently in that aspect, entrance wise. And again, I'm like, me being me, Steph Delander for me is always a heel. So that's how I see her, like overall. So I'm just waiting for the moment she betrays PCO. I know it's not going to happen tonight because it's not a big pay per view; it's a smaller one. So I'm just waiting for that moment that she does that and she goes back to Cardona because I expect them to return to each other sometime soon. To be honest.
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah, the
So
monster was
this,
Shera. For those that are asking.
yeah, I had no clue who he was.
Yeah, the Indian
No clue.
lion.
I didn't know
He's
who it
good though.
was.
That's the problem, that he does really well, but again the presentation for this is what messed me up because I was
Yeah.
thinking there was another match in between here and then the PCO match, you know. So that's the only thing. Oh, sorry, you clicked that.
Oh, I actually started clicking then, and you've ruined it.
Oh, that's a good one too. And Zion would have been a good one too.
Yeah.
I like that answer. See what I mean? But yeah, definitely the presentation of this match would have changed it for me, at least
Yeah.
rating wise in that aspect. That was my main thing.
Very much so. It
Yeah.
was very much. I was looking on X after this match, and a lot of the comments were, "Oh, let's wait till Cardona turns up," or
Mhm.
can't wait to see him see it introduced," or all of this type of stuff, and then we just
No.
didn't. Just nothing. So
Yep.
for me, that was a bit. Mm. But
Mhm.
that was the end of the countdown. And then
Yeah.
we had a little bit of a segment, but I'm just going to quickly get into it. And it was just Rich Swann. This is not kayfabe. This has happened in real life. Rich
Yeah.
Swann was suspended by TNA Wrestling and entered rehab after disorderly intoxication arrest. AJ
Mhm.
Francis has now got Casey Navarro, will now be the one who that will team up with him for the tag team championships later on in the show. But I didn't know anything about Rich Swann, and none of this was happened until I
Yeah.
saw this segment. I was like,
Mm.
"Is it kayfabe?" So then I googled it, and it came up on
Mhm.
there.
Yeah.
But I hope he gets the help he needs and what he
Mhm.
needs to do to move forward. So, yes, we will get into that. I do
Mhm.
want to say something about that, but that, yes.
Yeah, definitely hoping he does get the help that he needs, especially by doing this. I'm glad the company's giving him the opportunity to get the help that he needs as well. They're understanding about it. But at the same time, I'm like, I think about it this one: when something like this happens, a spot opens up for somebody else and
Yeah.
it gives them a moment to shine. And I can tell you that I've seen clips here and there about Casey. So seeing him here, I was surprised. I was wondering who it was. I didn't know this was going to happen at all. So when he came out, I was very surprised. But at the same time, thinking this is a good opportunity for him, somebody that people are getting to know little by little. And I feel like it's a good way for like people to get introduced to him. So I was like, good opportunity for him to like kind of take advantage of, to think about it that way.
Absolutely. And to be fair, we will get into that in a little bit later on, but he did a good enough job. But I think it was good that they didn't go on about Rich Swann. They mentioned it once, and then that was it. That they didn't do anything, and I thought that was good. Then we're gonna get into this.
Uh-oh.
I have it. This is my highest. Yeah, this is my highest ranked match of the PLE pay per view, whatever they call it these days. But I'm gonna ask you to tell me what you think of it first before I go on. Yeah,
First,
go for it.
whether it is a men's or a woman's Ultimate X, I am always impressed by this because it takes such a strength to be doing this type of match. It's not something that a lot of people can do. I cannot imagine the kind of training they have to go through, thinking of obviously having to hang in there, whether it's with their arms or with their feet, because we've seen both, or the crawling they kind of have to do to be able to get to the title. So that's always something that impresses me, no matter what, seeing other people that are able to do this match. That's the first thing. Also glad to see Riley Osborne here. He was really a great addition to this match as well, and keeping up that NXT presence there. It usually happens during the taping, so it's nice to see it during the pay-per-view as well. We had it happen, I think, with Wesley was one of the few so far. So This I am really glad this happened with him. I'm really glad with everybody here and like competitor wise as well. Um, and Alex Hammerstone. Oh my gosh, that man's a monster. I don't know how he does it. I really don't. Holy crap. Like the way he just threw, I think it was Laredo Kid at one point. He threw him onto everybody. And he launched like Riley to the outside, like over the top rope, over everybody else. And then Laredo Kid afterwards. And the chance that man got, I was like, so well deserved. Like that was amazing. I loved it.
Yeah.
I was just torn about this match because to put it towards the end though, between Speedball and Zach in there, that tore my heart in half. I had no idea who to root for, and I was having such a trouble because I really like Speedball getting a highlight, but I feel like this. I don't know if it's me, but maybe the reign felt too short, and it's disappointing in that aspect because Speedball is somebody that people love so much, and he does so great with every opportunity he gets to get such a short reign. So I was really more surprised about that aspect of it. But again, like the end of him and Zachary and the way Zach got the title, I was thinking somebody was going to grab him and pull him down and stop him from getting the title. But then when he won, I was very much surprised, but very happy for him. So that means at No Mercy this Sunday, we're definitely going to get the X Division champion being part of a match. So at that moment, I DM'd Ed and he DM'd me at the same time. And I thought, what if Wesley's sneaky enough to try to get the X Division title to be on the line during No Mercy? That'll be interesting as well. You never know.
So I was not brought up, that sounds like I'm really ancient, but I remember the X Divisions with AJ Styles, Christopher Daniels, Samoa Joe was in one of them, I think, if I remember, along with all of those others, and that was Highlight Reel Central. They threw their bodies to the wall. This wasn't. I was slightly disappointed with this. I'm not happy about. Yes, I am. I hate you.
You're one of the youngest here. What are you talking about?
I know. But I feel ancient, so let's put it that way. I was a bit. Riley Osborne impressed me when he did the sunset flip into the double suplex on top of Hammerstone. And the one thing I found, I don't know whether you caught up on this, but Hammerstone was talking to the younger competitors like Riley Osborne throughout like the spots when they were on the floor. He kept like talking to him and sort of helping him through it and to go it. And I thought that was really good. And there was one point as well when Speedball landed on top of Hammerstone's head, I think. And as he landed, you could see Speedball just turn over and then say something like, "Are you okay?" And then Hammerstone just turned his head to the right, but the camera was still there. And he said, "I'm okay," like that. And then it carried on. And I was like, it's good to see that everyone is breaking kayfabe a bit. But kayfabe's dead now anyway. But I thought it was nice with it. And I think Hammerstone really showed out tonight that the big man that he is. I'm not happy with the winner. Wesley's bitch shouldn't have won the title. See, here's the thing, and I'm going to be very controversial now, and I don't mean to be. But I don't get him. I don't get him. Like he, to me, he's the third man out of the group. I know who Wesley is. I know who Trey Miguel is. I haven't got a clue who he is. All I know is he screwed over Wesley, left WWE because of whatever that situation that happened. He went off, did whatever he needed to do, and I still, even when he was in MSK, I was always much looking at Wesley more than I was him. It was always that, and it's for me. It was so out of the blue of him winning this title. Like there was no indication. It was. From any of them. I think the most indication we had was that the one that was going to win it was going to be Hammerstone because he was the big guy. They built him up like nothing. Like he was Mark Henry going up against Rey Mysterio. It was like that type of thing. And then for him to not win it, but I don't expect it, but Speedball to have that short of a reign.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of that at all.
No, that was definitely disappointing. I think this match, though, would have been won because I love the high-flying type of style. I feel like I would have added more time to this match because I just felt like I know the card was short because they had the Ironman match that was a whole hour. But again, this is another one that I think could have benefited from more time as well to really develop a little bit more.
Yeah.
Zach winning was definitely something that definitely surprised me. I was not expecting that at all whatsoever. But again, I wonder if that's something that's going to play a factor in the Wesley storyline that we have in NXT.
Absolutely. And I do think that they need to learn never to do an Ironman match again, because by God. But what they need to do as well is to make sure that there's enough time, even if you make the Ironman match 30 minutes, or no, 40 minutes, or whatever it was, change the stipulation to the Ironman match. But you had matches here that had the capacity to be really good, really exciting, but because of that Ironman match at the end, everything had to be rushed or pushed up a little bit less than what it should have been. But for me, I gave it a 4.5 star because I think the spots were there, and also I was just like adrenaline rush at the point of me writing that. But at the same time, I would say now looking back on it and thinking about it, I would drop that down to a 4. What would you give it out of 5?
I mean, I don't disagree with you with the 4. I think it's just for me that 1-star difference will be the fact of the time, because it just felt like it felt kind of short when I feel like most of the matches that are Ultimate X feel a little bit longer than that. So that's, I think, my only critique towards it, because I feel like everybody shines in their own way in the match and they all had something. So it was like, I wasn't bored or anything like that. I just wanted more from it because I was enjoying it, and then it was done, which again, I think it's a factor to the Iron Man match being an hour in this pay-per-view. If it had been maybe 30 minutes, I feel like like this match could have had a little bit more time and it would have developed. And also to your point, I didn't get to say that I think it's just funny when you think about that. Zach is like the third guy to you, when usually that third guy is Trey Miguel to most people. Most people know who MSK is, and Trey Miguel is just the last one. Oh yeah, Trey Miguel is the one that people forgot about.
Like for me, I remember when Zach and Wesley first signed, because I know that WWE really wanted Trey Miguel as well, but he re-signed with TNA and stayed there. So I was like, why is the hype? So I watched him, and then I saw when the other two come, and I was like, right, okay, I get it. But then Zach is always for me like in the background, and like Trey Miguel, when I see him in the ring, I'm more intrigued watching him. Like him versus Wesley would be like my Rascals Wet Dream match. But at the same time, I understand why Wesley did what he did, and I think this is going to be a very interesting match, and I'm excited to see that. But that's all for you lot to talk about Sunday. So make sure you come back here Sunday to follow that prick Ed and the most beautiful woman in OLE, Astrid. Next one. I called it the right.
Okay.
This match, okay. I like the match, but the build-up made no sense for me, right? So Steve Maclin wanted a match against the old guard of TNA to prove himself, when I think they're roughly around the same age, and they're roughly been in the wrestling industry the same amount of time. But they've never. So why would you class it as the old guard versus the new guard when they're not? It's like that bit. I didn't make sense to me. But I really like this match. There's a pot. I wrote this down. And there's a spot in this match that I love what Steve Maclin does when they're in like the tip of woe position, and he runs, and it's like a headbutt or a spear type thing when they're hanging down. I love that move because it looks absolutely bloody horrible to the opponent, but it looks so much fun to you to do. But I really like this match, and I think it was a good way for Steve to win. I don't think Eric Young needs to win these matches anymore. His entrance, by the way, Eric Young, love it. But apart from that, what did you think of it?
I think the only point I would bring about the Orgar thing is that the fact that people see EY and people like Kazarian as the foundation of TNA. They think about it that way. So that's in the regard to it being like the old guard versus Steve being the new guard. So I think that's the only way I would think about it in that aspect of like,
Right. Okay.
if I want to go over and make a name for myself, then let me go through the people that are been like the old, like they've been in the company to think about it for a long while and be, here and there. So I think about it in that aspect of they're the ones that we call like the OGs of the company. But I think that's a major difference between that. Maclin is a little bit, I don't want to say newer, but he has definitely less time in TNA that EY does,
Mhm.
and less history with the company in that aspect. So I think that's probably his way of trying to make a name for himself, somewhat,
Mhm.
kind of. I feel like at the same time, I don't think he needs to, because I feel like if he would have done that, I would have done it when he just arrived in TNA, and when he had, EY wouldn't have been there, probably, if I'm not mistaken. So that's, I think, the major difference in this. I enjoy the match too. I just think the ending felt weird-ish in a way. Because I understand how it ended in the move and the shoulder thing with Steve, but at the same time, Steve trying to get up and the way he was struggling to get up, and then EY just hanging by the ropes because the referee keeps pushing him back of like, don't get involved, but he stays there for a while just waiting. It just felt kind of awkward in a bit. I was like waiting. I was like, I don't know, he's a face, so I know he wasn't going to attack him, but it just felt weird seeing him standing there after the match was over. But I'm glad that they also sold this one. They started, they said this is the first time ever match. Obviously,
Yeah.
they, you know, back and forth with each other, but they never face each other like one on one like this. And it's always nice when something like that happens, when you think about the roster and you're like, wait, and never seen this match before. So it's always nice when you get something that's brand new. But and that pile driver towards the end also felt really nasty too. I was like, I don't know if I want to
Mm.
watch that again. But yes, the Overlord has arrived.
Hello, Overlord. Yes. No, I agree. I don't like the pile driver as a maneuver anyway. I very much have always been scared of the pile driver ever since I sort of saw Stone Cold just sort of lay there and just not move. So the pile driver's always sort of been the one that I just not a big fan of. But there was a bit of a match that I liked, and it was this. It was the handshake at the end, the
Mhm.
mutual respect. I liked that. That was sort of Eric Young going to Steve. All right, you did me. That's good. You could
Yeah.
go for it, and I like that. That was the match that needed that. Do you know what I mean?
Hmm.
It was a match that if you're going to give a handshake out to, it was this. It was very much so this because you got Steve Mac because isn't he a former TNA world champion?
Maclin, yes.
Yeah. So
Hmm.
he's not really a new guy then, is he? That bit still doesn't. Anyway, but it's nice for them to do that. If you could rate it out of 5, what would you rate it as?
I feel like I was between that three, like 3.5, like you said. I feel like it
Mm-hmm.
for me. It's just the pacing for me. I like the fast paced, and it wasn't really fast paced for me. I wasn't. It's not really slow either. It just feels like in between. So that's that's the part of it. But again, I'm telling you, this is just EY saying like, you're the new guys here. You're the next generation and the current generation TNA versus he's the old one. So it just that's it. That's the only thing.
Right, I've always wanted to do this, so bear with me. Are you feeling a bit oozy today? Always wanted to do that. Hope you're doing well. Thank you ever so much for coming. Cringe alert has just happened. And with this, is TNA with WWE now? They have teamed up with NXT talent can go over to TNA and Joe Hendry can go the other way. That's basically how it goes at the moment. And the Rascals as well are coming over. Apart from that, and Jordynne Grace was there for a bit, but hasn't turned up since for it. So that's basically how we are. Now we got this. This is yeah. I've given it a very low score because of what happened in the match. Oh, he come back to me. Yes, love this guy already.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I'm putting my ones up for you. Oh yeah, that's very true. Rosemary was there as
Yeah.
well. That's very true. But
What?
she didn't bring the knife. She's not allowed the knife on NXT because it shouldn't be allowed. Anyway, So my first thinking going into this match, we're going to skip into this match now, and my thoughts go out to Alisha Edwards right now. I hope she gets the help, and I'm not reading what he's putting
I'm
after
sorry.
I say this, and then I'll go back. But my thoughts go out, and hope she's okay, and I hope she is all right, and the
Mhm.
accident isn't too bad from it. But when you saw the way she was lying.
Yeah.
It didn't
Mhm.
look great. But yeah, I need to go on a rant, but I'm gonna let you do the positive side because as you're the queen of women's wrestling, I'm gonna hand this bit over to you before I go on my rant.
Well, first, yeah, definitely any well wishes to Alicia. I feel like to put in that aspect, I feel like that definitely changed the way the match was supposed to go. I feel we definitely know that that changed the I don't want to say routine, but you know what I mean of like the plan. Let's say that
Yeah.
the match was supposed to have, and it definitely like affected the rhythm it had and the pacing it had, and it just made me disappointed because then this is the only women's match we have on the card, and then this happening, I
Mm,
feel like it definitely like tarnished it in a way is the best way I can describe it. But I'm not obviously blaming Alicia; it's not her fault or anybody else's fault. So yeah, it's a matter of like it happens. You know, it's wrestling and it's live, and accidents happen. Unfortunately, I just hope she's okay. But yeah, just a matter of like this is a match that it's like I'm glad though that we have somebody like Jordynne here that's such a veteran. Even seeing the clip of when she falls, the Spitfire is holding Alisha and Alisha, she's checking on her and
mhm.
like talking to her in her ear, like checking on her. And like I feel like when she got confirmation that she was out, it's when Jordan's like, okay, we'll continue on without her kind of thing. And they adjusted as well as they could in the moment. And in that, I give them props as well for doing that because it's something that's definitely not easy when you have something in mind and you have to change course because of something that happens like this. So I definitely get them props for just doing this on the fly to think about it that way, to be able to give us this match at the end. So that would be my the only part of it. But I understand why I understand your rating in this aspect. I can't really defend it if not in a positive
Yeah.
way. It was it is what it is for this one. And again, I feel like if we had had the Everman match, we would have had probably another match here for the women.
Yeah.
So the time definitely made a factor in it having just one match tonight.
One of the things I will say about TNA that they are lacking right now is the creation of the women's division.
Hmm.
Um, and they used to be the best women's wrestling group, I would say, with the amount of matches they were having and doing. Um, but they're not really doing many women's matches at all at the moment. You've got Rosemary that's doing the stuff with a knife with everyone. Um, and then you've got Ash by Elegance, that's still going after the title somehow. And all of that stuff as well. And it's so we've got a few comments. I'm going to get to Bobby's in a minute. He's not allowed to. I can't even make the joke that I make about her and what I've said about her last time because I feel bad for saying it. So I'm not going to. Hannah Montana, hopefully you feel better soon. Um, as much as but what I will say
Mhm.
is as well, like, hold on. We need different women's tag team against. Yes, like
Mhm.
no, JC Jane. No, not at all.
But
Not
I
at all. I can't deal
definitely
with
get
it.
Bobby's point though. There's more tag teams, and definitely NXT
Yeah,
has a few that they're starting off that they definitely could
absolutely.
bring on. And
That
I feel
that
like
one I can go with. That one
yeah, I
I
feel
can
like
go
that
with.
one's definitely a good one. But I just a matter of like I feel like they have lost a lot of their women, and they just haven't been able to like I don't want to say replace them, but like filling that gap that they're missing to put it like that. And I feel that's the only thing that's killing TNA right now because they lost
Yeah.
somebody like Diana, for example, who's somebody, and then Naomi, and then I know they're definitely going to lose Jordan probably next year to WWE sometime.
Hmm.
So you definitely had to bring in more Negroes, and the only one that they really have brought on recently has been Ash, and she's definitely not filling any of the gaps of the woman they lost, to put it like that. So I would definitely start, picking up that phone and calling Shawn Michaels so you can get some of those NXT women over here and make something happen. Just to give us something a little bit different at this point. Or I don't know where she's at because I haven't seen TNA. So you tell me on this aspect. Bring me Allie back. Where's Allie with Decay? Give me that back. Ali is not in AEW anymore, so give me the money back.
She come back for one match and lost.
Ali
I
the
think she
bunny?
lost. No, oh no, she hasn't been in it since I started watching it.
Yeah, exactly. And she's been out. She was in AEW. She left. Like I think her contract probably expired. I think she posted not too long ago that she wasn't wrestling right now, but there were hints of it for a little while, and I feel like they maybe just stopped. So I was like,
Mm,
have the bunny come in and join NDK. Give us those girls taking over the women's division again. I'd love to see
yeah.
that.
Right, rant time.
Let's go.
I would like to say that Ash by Elegance has lovely hair. Right, Bobby, was that enough positivity for you? Because I can't do any fucking more. I can't do it. I've sat
That
here,
that was
right?
nice enough.
This woman, they need to get her away from the what title. She's Jordynne Grace was literally telling her to get in the ring to break up the tag. To break up the tag, she was telling her to do it. You could see where the camera angle was to do it, and the woman's nowhere near world champion material. She's nowhere near mid card material. And I don't get the fascination of this Ash by Elegance, because when she opens her mouth, it's not elegant. So it's just, please, TNA, do me a favor, right? Go over to Shawn Michaels, grab about 5 wrestlers that have never wrestled, and I bet you all of them will be better than Dana Brooke. I mean, Ash by whatever her fucking name is. Yeah. But what I will say is, and you're absolutely right on this, but what I will say is, and I don't think I said it, but I want to give massive credit to Jordynne Grace, who sort of saw what happened and then just took the match and then ran with it herself. And she sort of was instructing people what to do and sort of helping everyone through it. So I will give massive props to her for this. Right, next match we have got, it's the ABC versus the ones, for the Flop Dollar here today for the tag team championship. I'll go first with this one. Chris Bay is Bay. He is just, he's got it all. He's got the charisma. He's got the in-ring work. He's got the work ethic. He's got it all. How this man isn't near the World Championship team, I do not know. Because I know the tag team division needs it. Yes, very much so. In it as well, and I just love the ABC are just really good, and I can just see them holding that tag team championship for a little while. And I will say as well, is it Casey? His name?
Navarro for you.
Okay. I really liked what he did. He had a mixture of, when he first got into the ring, a bit of what's his name? Like Nathan Fraser, with a sprinkle of Andrade in there as well when he was on the ropes and he did all of that type of thing. There was a sprinkle of a lot of things. I go, oh, I know who did that.
Wait, a sprinkle like this? Like a sprinkle like this?
Salt Bay. Yeah. Salt Bay in it. He Salt Bayed it. Yeah. And I like this match. The bit that did make me laugh was the crowd just chanting at AJ Francis saying, "You can't wrestle."
Yes.
And I was like, "Oh, and then the commentary team going, they can all wrestle. That's why they're in this ring, and they can all do it." And I went, "You're trying a bit too hard here." But what did you think of it overall?
I mean, I adore ABC. I adore them. I just feel like I don't want them ever to lose the tag team championships, because when they lost it just didn't feel the same, and they do so great together. Their timing as a team with their double team moves reminds me so much of the Machine Guns, and it's chef's kiss beautiful. Like, not a lot of people can do that timing. They do it. I don't know how they do it, but they work so well together. I'm jealous of any team that is not able to match this like energy with each other that they have. I love it. Again, if I were to take out like AJ Francis, like Flop Dollar from this, it would have been like amazing, because Casey does so well with them. if we were added to the group, I wouldn't mind it because I feel like he matches up with them so well.
Mhm.
And that moment though, I was trying not to laugh. I'm really sorry for Abdallah. I really tried. When that moment, I think it was for the ending when he goes to pin Chris Bay, and he's about to do the pin, and the referee's about to go, and then he goes, "Never mind, you're not the legal one. So where's Casey? Where's Casey?" And then Casey nowhere to be found, and he's like looking like so confused, and it takes in that moment of like, oh, Casey's the legal person, and then that's when Chris takes that moment of pinning Casey instead of Flabdala. And I was like, that was brilliant. I'm glad that happened. Yeah, just for me, ABC just they're just amazing. So no matter who they won against, it will be hard to. Oh my God, Ed, don't break my heart. I wouldn't be able to do that match. I don't be able to survive that match. But yeah, just hearing the chants for Flopdala just made me laugh. You can't wrestle chants. They just this crowd and their chants. I'll give them brownie points that they were creative, but at some points during the Iron Man match, they were killing me as well. So we'll talk about that in a moment. But this one, that one was really well, like, granted. I'm glad they chanted that during this match.
Yeah, very much so.
No, I wouldn't be able to do that much. Don't even bring it in my point of view.
Maybe one of them would have a kid. Anyway. Right, rating out of 5, Astrid. I gave it a 3. I'll stick with a 3 because it went down a star because of Flop Dollar.
So if it went down a star for me, it'll be 4 because of Flop Dollar. To put it like that.
Right, okay. Perfect then. We're in agreement. Right. Next match.
Oh my gosh.
So, how do we describe this? See, I've written a list, right? And I always do this if I'm hosting or doing something. I do bullet points, right? And basically, I've put the System have a great song, which is annoying because I can't stand them. Joe Hendry doing a remix with the Hardy Boys was not on my bingo card whatsoever. Mike Santana has no idea what a wrestling ramp is. Every time I've watched him, he never goes down it. And Moose cannot run.
You just noticed that? Really?
No, I've noticed it. I've noticed it in the past, but today was very apparent in this match. And also, Matt and Jeff Hardy, they're a bit too old now. Every time Matt Hardy does a move, he has to go up on one knee and get up. He can't get straight up. It takes him about 5 seconds extra to get back up. Jeff Hardy just looks like he doesn't know what he's doing with life. So what would you say? That's my thinking of it. What would you say?
Okay, so we brought. Oh my God!
I've just seen the comment. I'm sorry. I've just seen it. That's why I laugh so loud. That's brilliant.
Oh my God! I can't even recover from that.
No.
Oh gosh! I mean, we brought this up. What was the last? I think it was a Slammiversary. The last review that I did with Bobby as well with TNA. We said it. I was like, the guy is slow. So it's like watching somebody run in slow motion. Like that's the best way I can describe Moose running and even just wrestling.
Zero amount of pace.
So that's the end of it. And again with the Hardys, I love the Hardys, especially Jeff. But they've had done so many like hardcore type of matches at this point in their careers that they can't do it like they used to. They really can't. I love the remix though. I love when the crowd was confused at first because they do the clapping part and then they noticed it won again, so they clapped again, and then they didn't know what to do on the third one when it happened again. But again, I love the graphic of the Hardys coming up with the clapping too for the Joe Henry song, and then the remix of the song afterwards. Brilliant. That was brilliant. But to me, the part that bothered me as the baby faces though, I love you, Santana. I really do. I adore you, my dude. But you couldn't get in on the bit for a moment. Come on, I would have loved to see that happening. You clapping or doing a little something with Joe Hendry. That would have killed me right there in a good way. But it just felt like it was the Hardys and Joe Hendry, and then Santana in the middle, and then the System.
Yeah,
it didn't feel like in that aspect with the teaming. They didn't feel like a team. They really did it, and I wish it would have been different in that aspect. When you're babyface, it should be a little bit like more like a cohesive unit. Part, but it's a system again. They've been teaming up longer than the whole group has, but it just that's the only thing that it felt you kind of. I don't want to say awkward, but it just no. He's not gonna be the funny type of person. Some part of it would have been fun. Yeah. But I feel like it just then why put him in the match if it's gonna be like he's like the odd man out to put it like that, just kind of awkward in that aspect. But I get where you're coming from also in the aspect of like the Hardys not being able to like really get up. I feel like I do struggle watching them nowadays compared to before. And I hate to say that because I love them both. But yeah, and then the system is just the system is just there. I'm sorry. It's not working out for me. It's a no from and that one. Yeah, there's nothing much on this match for me. Yeah, it just doesn't surprise me the system wins. So yeah, there's not much.
I gave it a 3. It was there. Joe Hendry being over, and then Sunday night going to be crowned the new NXT champion. Looking forward to that. That is my prediction. Deal with it. And if he doesn't win, I've got a problem with TNA and NXT for not crowning this man as a champion. Anyway.
Yeah.
But no. Yeah. What would you give it out of 5 before we get on to the next match and the final match?
I feel like I agree with you. I will give it 3 too. So
he is.
I was waiting for him to say that because I knew he would.
No.
Yeah.
He's winning it now. If not, then the Twitch chat will be filled with me being very angry on Sunday. So be prepared. Right. What we're going to do is, before we get into the final match, I normally do this. I did this at the beginning, but there's more people here now, and I fucked up earlier. So what we're going to do now, before we get into the final match on the night, we're going to go through the calendar, that what you can expect and what you might have missed this week from our local establishment. If you are watching this on YouTube, please make sure, if you've just joined us, to smash that like button, hit the subscribe button as well. If you're watching this on my channel, why? Because I've never done this before, and it might be the only time. Who knows? And if you're watching this on Twitch, make sure you give a follow. You will get notification for when one of these beautiful bastards from our local establishment will be doing a live video for you. So if you haven't seen already, if you've missed stuff, here's what's happened. This is the right one because I did the wrong one.
Are you sure? Are you sure?
Yes, because I deleted that one. While just after it played, I was like, I'm getting rid of that because I know I'll play it again. So here's the things that are coming up this week on our local establishment.
Please note.
Never gonna stop, never gonna change, never gonna do the things you say. I run my own way to get there. Fools are calling and I don't seem to care. In the air, no more crowd, just the opposite kind of few clouds. So tell me this time is coming for the sake of all your lies. Why don't you try to be wise? Know that I need you anyway.
Yes. So, do you believe? And there is a comment here from a gentleman. Maybe would you put money on this?
God, you said gentleman, but it's Ed.
I didn't say that, Ed. I didn't say that.
You said gentleman. You said gentleman. I heard it. I heard it.
It wasn't me. It's Ed though. So, I will put. No, I won't put any money, so don't believe it, and you're going to annoy me if he loses, then you're going to be the most unbearable fucker because I put money on it that I can think of, so that's not happening. Also, I need to see the Joe Hendry that everyone's talking about.
Ew.
Never seen him, just pictures. And then Ed comes in saying, watch NXT No Mercy Sunday where he faces Ethan Page. If not, go on YouTube and there are loads of matches of him on there. Or go on WWE or TNA and you will see lots of his matches. Excellent work he's been doing so far. Pure Scotsman, but he hasn't got a pure Scottish accent. He's sort of losing it a bit of a pure Scottish accent. Like Gallus on top. Them crappy. On there. And then the only way I can talk Scottish is if I swear. And that's why I've decided not to. I've swore quite a lot during the show, but this is my show, so I'm then
Hey, I'm just following the bit that they have with each other because I'm not saying that he's not a gentleman. I'm just saying that he said he's a gentleman, and that's rare from him. So I'm just saying.
No. He's British if he wins. If he loses, he's Scottish. Remember that. That's the way we work over here. It's the same with Drew McIntyre, same with Andy Murray. It landed. Take the credit. You should just take the credit. Seriously. You did a great job there. It's not like you to do funny jokes, but for once you actually did a great
Are you telling me I'm not funny, Mark?
You cut strays in. I'm so sorry. Ed's normally taking it, and I was like, I had anyway. I'm good before she slaps me. She flies over to the UK just to slap me. We're going to get into the main event. Would you like to go first, or would you like me to go first? This is up to you now.
I feel like we're both probably going to go about the same route, so
yes.
Either way.
I hate 60-minute Iron Man matches. I'm not going to lie. I fell asleep, nearly fell asleep at about 2 points of this. The 1-0 up after 12 minutes, and then he went 2-0 up, where he now calls it the danger zone when it's the zigzag. And then they both did 10 German suplexes to each other. So basically, they want to be Brock Lesnar. And then there was what did he hit? Nick Nemeth. I'm about to call him Ziggler then. Nick Nemeth with to get to then hit the C460. What did he hit him with?
I didn't even get to see it either. I was wondering what it was because even commenters like, "Oh, he hit it with something that was in his knee brace." They might have been a piece of the brace itself, but I'm like, you should have replayed it because I missed what it was. I couldn't even see what it was.
And then he kicked it out of the ring, and it landed on the edge of the ring, and then just left it there, like it was literally still in the ring. And then he hit the C460 twice. To make it 2-2 with 15 minutes left. And then Josh Alexander, I have put this here, hit the shittest zigzag ever because he didn't even connect with it properly. And then we know what happened in the end. And then the C460 by Ziggler in the end gets it done with 10 seconds remaining for him to return. What would you say about this? Because I got bored.
I'll tell you, I'm trying to see if I can find it, but I don't think I have it near me. I hate to be saying that this match isn't what I expected it to be when it's two of my favorite people because I even have pictures of both of them. That's how much I love both of these guys. Okay. So for me, for example, it wasn't an Iron Man match, but it was an hour match. It's just to show you how different it is. If you haven't seen Josh versus Speedball, and it's on TNA's YouTube channel, if I'm not mistaken, and I think it might be commercial free in the YouTube channel as well, I recommend that one. And then compare it to this one, and then get back to me. That's the first thing I would say. Because I love both of these guys together here, but at the same time, I feel like the pacing is what didn't help the match. Because we started slow, and then we go by and pick up a little bit, and then we go back to being slow, and then we pick up a little bit, and that back and forth didn't help this match at all. And you can tell because as much as I hate these like random chants, the crowd was bored.
Yeah.
How do you get this USA chants to Josh Alexander? I get he's a heel, but you're chanting USA chants because you have nothing else to chant right now. You keep chanting Good Night Baldy when Nick was doing the sleeper on him. And I forget they were chanting even they were doing the LA Night chant, the chant as well. And clapping and doing this most random like chants I ever heard probably in a pay-per-view in general, just because they were bored. There's no other reason. And I hate that this happened in this match when these two guys are just incredible competitors. I totally hated it. But I can't blame them either because it was boring at times. I was like, how long has it been? Because it feels like it's been longer than an hour. So I think the pacing definitely didn't help it because, like I said, Josh is in the other match and he does great with Speedball. And it was a whole hour match. It wasn't an Iron Man match, but it's a whole hour match. And me, I love Iron Man matches. And I can say this is one that I would like to erase from my memory at one point, and I hate to say that, to be honest, but it just like, how do you do a sleep in the sleep in the middle of the match? I was like, I'm just tired of Nick Nemeth doing sleepers at random times. I know people do them at the beginning of the match. After that, don't do it anymore, please. These are like a gazillion C4 spikes during this match. We don't need that many. Save that for when you're really gonna go for the pin, but don't do it that often for no reason whatsoever. And it's like they were pointing out that when the referee was down, they set up the table. The table was set up by Josh. And when the referee came about and the table was used during the match, the commentary goes, "Oh, he can't really DQ anybody because he didn't see who set up the table." Like, okay, sure. I'm like, you couldn't just, I'm like, not take away a point or something for each other because you don't know who did it. But it's like the most random stuff that what happened in this match, like the table. I was like, okay, I kind of get what that happened when the referee was down. Might as well take advantage of it. And whatever he used that was in his knee brace. But I think the only thing that I would say positive about this is just I never thought I would like Josh as a heel because he had been a face for so long when I was watching TNA that when he turned heel, I couldn't believe it. So he does very well with it, especially today with the crowd. When the crowd kept chanting USA to him, he kept pointing at his knee pads that had the maple leaf in his knee pads. And I love how he was able to rub off in that part. And Nick almost took advantage of it by him having the like cockiness in that moment, and almost took advantage by pinning him, but just didn't do it. But yeah, it was a lot. Like a lot happened in this match, but I feel like nothing all at the same time. And just the pacing didn't help it. I feel like when you're doing this type of match, you have to try your best to keep a steady pace. And I don't want to say it's like a fast pace, but like something steady. And I feel like something that you get with the Speedball match. So if you haven't yet, go watch that one because it's better than this one. I hate to say that.
See, the thing, there was a couple of things like production-wise that irritated me was the clock wasn't on the screen the whole time. It would flicker on and off at random times, and that annoyed me because I just want to know how long this been or how long I have to endure this for left. And the other one was the scoreboard wasn't on the screen the whole time. It just popped up. And I feel like it would have been nice for it to be at the bottom of the screen with the timer. With it, like all in one would be quite nice to have. And I just felt like that they missed out on that. And that was a little bit disappointing from that. So I said this before, and I don't want this to come true, but I do feel like it might do. I don't see Nick Nemeth as a world champion. Right? I know we're in a different company, different superstars, differentness. I don't look at him as a world champion. I look at him as someone that can have banger matches against like an underdog type thing. He's not the underdog anymore. You can't be having, we're not having another Sami Zayn, but we can't be having an underdog champion that has to fight within to go up and get it. And the issue I have for this match is I was really excited for this match because their promos that they did, the TNA one, the day before Emergence, they did a promo where they were sat at the table and they were going back and forth at each other. That was brilliant. They also did promos leading up to this match on the PLE, pre-pay-per-view, the live event. They did that really well, and I thought that was really good. But it just didn't stick. It didn't land. If this was a normal singles match, I would have gone. The pace would have been quicker, would have been less time on this, and other matches would have got longer. And the ultimate worry I had for the 60-minute was that the Ultimate X match wasn't going to get the recognition it needed because that's the staple mate of TNA, and it didn't really get it. And the other and a lot of the other matches as well suffered from it. So I was a little bit disappointed. from that, and it goes by. I've given it a 3. I reckon that's respectable for it. I wouldn't go lower because I feel like it's a disrespect, but I wouldn't go any higher because it don't need to be. So I think like that, I would class that as like the middle ground for me. What would you give it?
Yeah, I feel like I agree with you on that one. It'll feel like terrible to say like it's a Nick and a Josh match and you're gonna put it like a 1 or 2 stars. So just like that, like you said, that feels like disrespectful because I know how much like preparation they had to have for this match. Like I know they already work out obviously as wrestlers, but you had to go a little bit like harder than before with the cardio when you have a whole hour match. So I always respect that because I know I wouldn't be able to last 5 minutes in a wrestling ring, so not even an hour. So I give them props for that because I know that takes a lot of work and dedication. But yeah, it just didn't hit. It really didn't, unfortunately. And I wish I didn't have to say that tonight, being that this is the main event. But again, I'm hoping in that aspect that they're able to recover somehow from from this in a way with Nemeth as a champion there. So I'm hoping that's what happens next. But again, like I said, it's like if you haven't yet, go watch Speedball versus Josh Alexander or watch Bailey versus Sasha. Those will definitely be great suggestions for Iron Man and Iron Woman matches that you will enjoy it instead.
Absolutely. So that is now. Hold on, I've got to get wrong side. There we go. We've got to see the others on the round. So let's go overall. Let's do our overall rating before we finish the show, and we give a few shout outs to some people moving what we're going to be doing next. But for you, what would you give this out of 10?
Out of 10, jeez. I feel like I'm between like, I don't want to say like an 8 because it feels like a little bit too high. So maybe between like a 6 or 7. I just feel like I'm torn about it. I really am. So I'm just in between there, I would say.
Also, carry on talking. I'm trying to look for something and I can't find it.
So I'm trying to think of what like could be a factor towards it because I feel like that main event was like okay. And then the was it 6-man, 8-man tag, whatever, 8-man tag, whatever it was. That one's another one that was And the women's match, again, I don't blame the ladies. It was something that happened on the fly, so that's another factor to that one. Flop dollar is definitely another factor for it. But yeah, I feel like the pay-per-view mostly suffered because you have an hour match, so that means all the other matches are definitely going to be shorter. So I feel like that definitely hurt the pay-per-view in the end, like overall.
What did you say in the end? 6?
I'll say between 6 and 7, but mostly like a 6.
I'll go with you on that one. I think that's right. I think I'm gonna agree with you on that one. For that. But as we're ending, yes, this did take me a little while to try and find. It's not in the same place as I normally look. So please, Astrid, tell everyone what you've got coming up and what you're expecting from whatever you're doing. Moving. What are you doing?
English, do you speak it?
No, apparently not.
And you only know one language. I got 2 in my mind. Think about that.
I struggle with 1, let alone 2.
Exactly. So imagine you have 1 and you struggle with it. No. Be nice over here. No, you can find me tomorrow. I don't know what time, but tomorrow we will have our preview show for NXT No Mercy airing on OLE. That will be with Miss T, aka Miss Thickums from Twitch, the streamer. So very nice to be having her as well. And then NXT post show, that'll be Sunday night after the pay-per-view, will be with Justin, aka the Wrestling Classic. So really excited to be discussing everything NXT with both of them, and Ed as well, of course, my tag team partner. And again, you can find us on Tuesday doing Taking Over, which will be the No Mercy Fallout. So we'll see what happens after No Mercy and NXT program, which will be, I don't know if it's scary to think about, sort of. But you can find me on my Twitter and Blue Skies, astridpizarro. My Instagram and Threads is astridpizarro20. And everything else, you can find it on my YouTube channel, like my name, which is Astrid Pizarro as well. Yes, I'm trying to end it real quick so I can go to sleep as well.
No, don't worry about it.
Okay, 7 p.m. Eastern. I guess I put mine at 6 because I gotta put it before you. So there you go. Why are you laughing at me, sir?
You should know this. You should be knowing this.
Hey, I have in mind the time I'm recording so I can remember to wake up. So I can't remember the time I'm airing it. It's a different story.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough. Right, I'll do me. I need to get rid of Ed. He's doing fucking Ed and seeing him there. There you go. I will be. What the hell am I doing? I will be here tomorrow doing the post show for Bash at Berlin. Myself, Kimmy, Bobby, and Auntie Collins will be doing that. There will be wine talk. If you haven't seen what happened before,
Oh God.
Us four together is a recipe for disaster. Let's put it that way. So you might want to check in for that. I will be back with Bobby as well on Sunday doing Point of View. And then Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern, I am sitting down with Kimmy. And we're going to go through her life of where she is, where she's going, what's going on, and what's happening. That would be on here. My football channel, where am I? I've got to remember where you guys are with videos of what I've recorded. Okay, so I am currently in America, managing Inter Miami, and it's going to be the end of the season very, very soon. And we're looking to try and get the quadruple, 4 trophies, and then we're going to be trying getting the last one. But you got to check out. We also move clubs as well next week, so make sure you stick around to find out where we're going. Mark Talks Wrestling. We are so close to WrestleMania, the end of the series, where we will be moving. I will be moving WWE to the UK. Bobby will be taking over TNA, and Lauren Goodnight will be moving to Japan. Not literally. And she will be the general manager to New Japan Pro Wrestling. We are going to be, in spoiler warning, breaking the fourth wall, recording our draft video on Sunday for that. So that will be coming out. And on Mark Talks Gaming, we are now doing GTA 5, replaying it in 2024, and F1 Manager 24. That's me. 7 days a week. They're all channels, 6, 7, 8 o'clock every single day, UK time. So make sure you go over there, hit the subscribe and hit the like button, and make sure you show me love, because it is currently 5:20 in the morning and my brain is fried.
I feel like the post show should have set for August 31st instead of August 30th, because mine is past midnight too.
Let's see.
Yeah.
We're both 31st. High five.
For once.
Yeah. Got it. Right. We've had a few comments since we're doing it. Ed, stop giving me the time of how long I've got until the start of Bash of Berlin. I know, I need sleep. Yes, 12.5 hours until the Ring General returns and beats that piper, Randy Orton. So it's going to be an absolutely incredible PLE. So I'm very excited for Bash of Berlin. If it's got anything to go by what the SmackDown crowd was like, the Europeans are doing the Europeans a favour. The French were fire. The Germans are on fire. The English are always on fire. The Scottish were there. So let's make sure we can carry on the run of the European shows doing well. Oh, I fucking love him. And he is feeling very oozy. So that's even better. Got it in twice. So with that, my name's been Mark. This has been Astrid. And we will see you guys once I find the video to put the outro on. And we will see you guys very, very soon. Thank you ever so much for watching. Peace.
Always do it on my own, so I gotta get through it. And the only thing I know is to love what I'm doing. Never give up, never slow, till I finally prove it. Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep moving. Keep my head up when I act, head up, that's a fact. Never looking back, I'ma keep myself on track. Keep my head up, staying strong, always moving on. Feel I don't belong, tell my thoughts to move along. Push myself to be the best, die with no regrets. Live with every